Welcome, everybody. It's your boy, the Versace Stoner. And tonight we are talking about limitless, undeniable. But let's give our old buddy Disable Wolf a call, eh? Let's see, Disable Wolf, what are we doing here?
Hello, Versace.
Is that Disable Wolf?
Hello?
Yep, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yep.
What's up, Versace?
How's it going, Disable Wolf? Can you hear everything okay? I'm gonna up the volumes a little bit to see.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my Bluetooth up.
Yeah, sure. Get yourself situated. We have a great night here at the VSW. We're going to be talking about undeniable. We were there, front
Oh, it
row.
was undeniable. All right.
You know, limitless wrestling, always impressive. Never can I say I've ever had a bad experience at a show there.
Not at all. I have.
And like I said, it was a little bit different. The first show back was Patience is a Virtue. We walked into that one blindly. We didn't know the card. We didn't know you know, the participants really. We didn't know anything. This
Oh,
was
absolutely.
kind of planned out. We had a pretty good match card. The only thing we didn't know, and we'll talk about that later, was who the Limitless World Champion Daniel Garcia was gonna face.
Oh, absolutely. Was it a surprise for the ages, Versace?
Oh, it really was, and we will get into all that fun. But the first thing, let's just we'll start off with the first match that opened the show. I have them all here written down. I took notes, at the show. Um, but the first match was the blue collared badass JD Drake taking on Kevin Blackwood.
With the world champion Daniel Garcia by his side.
Well, yeah, I mean that is pretty much like they're inseparable. Those two, unless the ref separates them, but they're brothers basically. They're Buffalo brothers. Kevin Blackwood has been, all over the place in different promotions, really doing impressive work. And also, like on a real point, like the dude bicycles like 50 miles at a time. He does some pretty insane things training wise and just physical wise, but in the ring, like now he's really just like opening it up. I think. Like we're gonna see him next. What is it? Saturday. Um, you
Yeah, at
know,
that New Jersey nightclub pay-per-view, VXS, I believe.
Yep. You know, we're gonna be seeing him probably all over the place. He is very, I saw him at No Peace Underground, at Fair the Gay Agenda, and he was in a different kind of scene there. So, very impressive superstar right now on the scene. And then you have, AEW superstar JD Drake, and this guy's just an old school badass wrestler. He's a big man and
And
he
he's a
can move.
wingman, per se.
He is, but he can work and he can move. Like there's big men, and then there's big men that can, work and move, and he's one of them. This guy in the ring is impressive.
Oh, absolutely, Versace. He didn't get called up to AEW for nothing, as he's an old school North Carolina hoss fighter. And Blackwood is a pretty good submission specialist as well.
Oh, he really is. I mean, he's one of my favorite in the game right now for submission wrestlers. He has a great style. It really reminds me of a UFC kind of fighter, and you
Him
know,
and Garcia have a MMA background in Buffalo, so it makes a lot of sense.
oh, it does. And like I said, I think that's their style of wrestling and fighting, and they do a great job at it. They have very impressive move repertoires and so forth. And Blackwood is really maneuverable in the ring. He's a little sly, but when he does get caught in a situation, Garcia has his back.
Absolutely. That goes without saying. The two of those Buffalo brothers got each other's back, and
You,
it almost prevailed for Blackwood, but not. It wasn't quite good enough to get over the high offensive diving maneuvers of JD Drake. And they even won on top of the turnbuckles to have an oh my god moment to start the show off.
oh yeah, I mean that was insane. I was at the edge of my seat when that went going on, and like I said, it was just a tremendous match to open this show up. You know, like I said, it was. I didn't know what like I said, I didn't know what show was what match was gonna open. I didn't even like try to predict the card or any of
I mean,
that.
I just knew that one of the matches, that the Becca Charles Mason match, would be high on the card because that was like the popcorn type match. But I didn't know if this was going to be like a. I knew this would be at the beginning of the show before intermission, but I didn't think it was going to be the opener.
No, definitely not. But you know what? It worked. It really, really worked. And, it was JD Drake with the victory over Kevin Blackwood, and that just it just was something. And then well, you know who it is. You know who it is.
Oh God, Versace, you're going to get me all hyped up.
I know it's late at night, and I know you don't like to hear about him, but John Alba came out. He didn't want to
I,
see us mutants the first time, but he definitely came and made himself noticed this time. How
and
was
the
your
man
interaction with
pretended
him,
like
Mr.
I
Wolf?
didn't exist. I thought he was Chris Van Vliet. I want to thank him for how good his interview with a guy you couldn't see was. He interviewed John Cena, but it was just John Alba.
I hope his interview got better views than he did with his interview than he did with us. But, you know, he came out, Mac Daniels versus Davey. They want to make Davey prestigious again. They've been taunting
And
her. They've been, trying to get with her,
And
trying to
BR,
do this.
I reminded the BRG that the Lightning won the Stanley Cup. I screamed "Go Bolts, go!" as he's a big Montreal Canadiens fan. I at the VSW and part of the Wolfcast love the Bruins. So and Shannon Thomas and BRG were kicked out to start the match.
They were, and with fairness, I mean, how many people do you need ringside for this one match? Alba's Mac's boy, so it made sense Alba stayed.
That dude was incredibly hyper Versace in
Who
person. It
Alba?
was worth seeing that guy in person. He is so hyper. He glorified Mac Daniels. It's the main attraction, and he was stalking Davey and the whole poor Davey.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, he has a thing for Mac Daniels, and
Oh
with
shit!
some reason, Mac was impressive. Mac
He
can
really
wrestle.
did really well. Davey did too.
I have to be honest with you. I mean, if you look at prestigious and you look at the three talents that are involved in them, as annoying as they are, as just nauseating as they are, it's just how much they like you. Just want to, just make you.
Their chemistry, those have you wouldn't think they are a brand new form stable from a couple of months. They
No, but you
have
got
great
three of the
chemistry.
most.
They're all unique.
Well, I mean, you got two of the biggest independent like solo stars in the game, and two of the greatest heels in the game. You got BRG, he runs a lot. He does that NCW. He's got that other Northeast promotion. He's top rope. He's all over there. You got Shannon Thomas also doing the same all over New England. These two are great, great wrestlers. And they actually had a great tag team, if you remember, before all this. The Prestige. Then, Mac Daniels and John Alba kind of said they could make it better and came up with Prestigious. Dropping the. Remember to drop the. It's
It
not
is
the
so hard for me to
prestigious.
remember.
I know. It's not the prestigious. It's not a prestigious. It's just prestigious.
just like
I
it's
think
John Alvin,
I
not
think
Chris
I get
Van
it
Vliet.
now.
I gotta get it
Well, I
straightened
mean, what
out.
happened was I was on the break, and I went over to go talk to Randy Carver down in the back of the room, and John Alba was there. So I asked him for a photo. I went to go, wanted to shake his hand. We did have him on the podcast. I did want to thank him in person. I wanted to take a picture with him. All the good stuff a fan would like to do. He was really, really hesitant. He did, but he whispered in my ear that it's prestigious, not the prestigious. He whispered in my ear. I'm like, so now I'm just kind of, I just know it. I just know it what it is. It's prestigious. And
I
what'd you
even
think? What'd you think of this match though between Mac Daniels and John
Davey Ann.
Davian?
I thought it was a really great match. It was pretty funny. The crowd was going for Davey like crazy. She had a great move set with the spear and the slam, but Mac Daniels had a great slam, great move set with the turnbuckles. He even
So
had a
I'm
lot of
just
arm
showing the
breakers
fans
on
right
Davey.
now this great picture of John Alba that I took. Um, it's rather funny. He doesn't look like he's too happy right there, but yeah, we
But
had a
Mac
fun time.
Daniels winning, that guy acted like $1 million. He even looks like he proposed to Davey Versace, but with a freaking green ring pop instead of going to Jared. What a
I
cheap
know.
bastard.
And I can't believe that Mac Daniels stole that victory.
No, he is the main attraction. Just look at that guy. Abel
I
even
know,
talks all day about it.
But Davy Ann's the gatekeeper. I mean,
She's
she's
wrestled in every New England promotion,
exactly.
dominated.
So I mean, so now you got to put some weight behind Mac Daniels, okay? You got to put some weight behind that name. I think he's proven himself here.
Absolutely. He's rising up to be ever since Limitless returned. Mac Daniels got the pin against MSP.
He did. So I mean, he's already in the last two shows him and his other partners have destroyed legends. I mean, they destroyed the trio of MSP with Alexander Lee, Danger Kid, and Aggro, and then they he beat Davey Ann. So I
Absolutely.
mean, but then
Yeah,
what happened after that was quite interesting. You know, again, John Albert asking Davey, "What do you want? What is it gonna take?" And Davey said, "There's one match that you can make happen and really make happen." And she got John Albert pretty worked up just to tell him that she wanted to face him later that night.
we'll
I
find
saw
out.
the nod from Randy Carver. It was a go as soon as she announced it, and Albert wasn't happy.
Absolutely.
We'll
And
go into
we'll
what
find
happened because
out later in the podcast whether that match happened or not. But are you
exactly
ready
I
to
was
move
gonna
on to the
say
next match?
it would take the rest of it takes place later that night. But yeah, that was a kind of a thing I've been waiting. Talk about a lot of people complain that there's not a lot of storyline and stories in the indie scene, and it's something about Limitless. They have a lot of great storylines going on at once.
They really do, Versace. It's the best, well drawn out promotion out of all New England because they got stories. I loved when they did the road during the course of the pandemic. They had you fall in love with all these characters, had you making it so easy to follow like it would be a WWE or AEW. They do a great job with the storylines.
No, they really, really do, and you know, the next matchup kind of made me a little sad. I'm not gonna lie. I was really, really looking forward to the Prize City OG Alec Price in this, taking on Tiger Style Lee Moriarty. Now,
But we got a hell of a replacement.
earlier in the week, we got word that Alec Price was unfit to compete. He was pulled from the match. This is devastating. Devastating. ever stating. Whatever's going on with him, we wish him from the VSW a very speedy recovery. We love to see you in action. We love to see you wrestle. We're huge fans here, so prayers for you, and just please get better. But in the same breath, in this matchup, we had a replacement wrestler, and it was an interesting choice. It was who I actually predicted was gonna face Daniel Garcia, the savior, pro wrestling savior,
Head of the
JT Dunn. And this
well,
was a great matchup. What'd you think?
I thought it was really well. Yeah, I was disappointed we didn't get to see the Bry OG versus the former IWTV champion who's been on all across the country, Tiger Style Lee Moriarty. But those freaking acrobatics between the two of them, I got so much footage of that, was amazing.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie. JT Dunn is a not only is he a veteran in my books, I believe he's a great wrestler. He's worked Limitless before. But right now he's on top of the world. I don't know if you follow chaotic wrestling at all, Wolf. I'm pretty sure you do. But
Yes, I
him and the unit out there, with Triple OG and what's the
AC
other guy's
Baby.
name there? I got it right here because I was talking. I saw a post by them today because I'm really liking the unit out there. Okay, you got JT Dunn, you got AC Romero, um, you have. Hold on, I got it over here on this. Sorry, Trigger the OG and Danny Miles. And that's the unit right there. Sorry for the delay, folks. The Versace Stoner is well into Versace Stoner territory right now. But
Oh, you
I,
sure are. It's
yeah, I
hard for me
sure
to
am.
keep up.
Well, that's why we're doing it remote. I knew you wouldn't be able to keep up tonight.
After that huge road trip we had on cruising for a bruising.
Oh yeah, our packages just came in the mail today too from Kansas. All the stuff. It was insane what Rodney had sent over. We got WrestleMania 5 watch in the package. Okay? We got these little other watches from WCW 1999. I got magazines from the 70s and 80s in the package, Playboy magazines, never opened, with WWF stars like China. He sent us all sorts of promo pics from the event that he did down there at Bay's Bash. And he even printed out our promo pic of him from Cruising for a Bruising. And then he sent us a couple of copies of the paper that we're written in because, yes, we are. We're in the Kentucky paper.
That is amazing, Versace.
Not Kentucky. I'm sorry. Kansas.
Kansas.
Yeah. but,
Get hit by those tornadoes.
oh yeah, and like I said, I read the article, and Ronnie's doing big things out there. I don't know. It's gonna be a tough call who wins between him and Mighty Bosch, who becomes the inaugural cruising for a bruising champion, because they are. It is down to the wire between those two.
But maybe Love Doug will have a better chance of getting on vacation land than coming back to be the
Oh,
first cruising champ.
I saw him. He was petitioning to get on. And we signed our names. I signed mine anyways because I do believe he belongs on Vacation Land Cup. But back to this match. You did have, like you said, a very acrobatic match. It always is a matchup. It's always something special. First of all, when you see Lee Moriarty, okay, he's a wrestler of a different caliber. There's nobody else out there like him right now. Nobody has that Tiger style. There's nobody out there.
And JT Dunn's an old fashioned New England indie legend with a great grappling style.
Exactly. He's very well trained and he's very well put together. He is the head of the unit and he is a machine. He is a chaotic champion. He is just he's one of a kind. And this I think was another dream match up for New England. And it was actually JT Dunn who got the win over Lee Moriarty, really solidifying, that maybe he is really pro wrestling savior.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because that was a big win for him.
It was. It really was. It was a huge victory, and it's going to put him on the map. It puts him, higher up on that pedestal of becoming, number one contender. Which, again, I'm going to stress this again. I've done all the math, Disabled Wolf. Okay, I've run all the numbers. I've crunched them all down. There is only one number one contender right now.
And it's the savior of the unit.
No, it's Kevin Blackwood.
Wow.
I mean, look at it. He's beaten Drake. Okay, he's been on a streak for a minute. We haven't seen him go up against Price, but Price got knocked down when he lost against in the triple threat with AC Romero against Garcia. It's all coming down to one thing, and I don't know what's going to happen when two brothers collide, because eventually it has to happen. Like I said, he's the number one contender. He's the next best person in the all of Limitless, and that's Kevin Blackwood right now.
Oh, absolutely. And but that was a big win against a high flying former IWTV champion with Lee Moriarty for JT Dunn, though.
Oh, it was, and it'll be very interesting to see. Speaking of IWTV champions, we will be at the IWTV 100, and that's the 100th title defense for the IWTV title. Now we saw the last time the IWTV title was exchanged. It was at Beyond Wrestling. Willie Uter defeated Lee Moriarty to
It
win
was
that title.
60 minutes
Now,
to be alongside Shawn Michaels Bret Hart Iron Man match for Sachi.
it was an insane match, right? I think it went almost the whole hour. And what was that? Fool's Paradise? No, it wasn't.
White Eagle.
No, I know it was, but was it Suffer No Fools? No, it was Project Dolphin, right?
Yeah, Project Dolphin, indeed.
That was the one because I know their first show back, Yuta defended against Trish Adora. The second one, he fought Lee Moriarty. Was it that how it went? I don't. Yeah, he Yuta fought Trish Adora for the number one spot.
Yeah, that was the first show, Beyond's first show back, and since the pandemic, similar to the first Limitless show we went to, and Patience is a Virtue, everything was a secret.
Yep. And that was, I believe, Suffer No Fools. And then Project Dolphin was their second show back. And that's when we had the title match because that's when Yuta was the number one contender for that title. Now, fast forward on the 100th title defense, we are going to have Wheeler Yuta against Red Death Daniel Garcia. That's a dream match.
Addicts like us across the country, you've been talking about this for a whole year now, Versace.
This has been a dream match of mine for a very long time. And yeah, I can't wait. I am psyched. But
And
speaking of waiting, speaking of psyched, there was one name on this card that really drew me going down there, because I had never seen him wrestle in person, only on TV, and that was the very good, very evil. Love that Danhausen.
Danhausen was probably very happy to see you, Versace. You know, Danhausen puts on a show.
I hope he was. I did meet him in the very beginning. He was the first person I walked in. I saw him. I took a picture, got a picture, bought an autograph. His autographs were double that everybody else's autographs were because he's a star. You know, and he's a real star too. He did a really, really great service. But anyways, he was against a very evil person herself, the Wicked Witch of Limitless,
Platinum
Ava
Hunt
Everett.
Destroyer, Ava Everett. She is her everyone's favorite icon, supposedly now. It's like he put
Everybody's favorite icon. Yep, that is the truth. No longer Avertaker. You know, she's been a miserable person ever since she's come to Limitless back. I mean, ever since she came back and, that whole her and the top dogs with her and Davey fighting, she's been a different Ava Everett.
absolutely very different, and indeed this was a really great match though between the two of them. As the Hoss had played so many mind games with her, he was even dancing when he was doing the moves. As
Oh
it
yeah, I mean he made a fool out of her.
hard to make Ava Everett mad.
You would be surprised what I'm doing to say, Wolf. I'm smoking three vapes at once.
No, you
Yeah, I got one PAX, I got one disposable, and I got one regular one, and I'm hitting them all at the same time. It's kind of crazy.
keeping up with you is always crazy, my friend.
Keeping up with myself is kind of crazy. I'm almost at where you were last time we were mashing, smoking. But anyways, Dan Hawson, 1, 2, 3, tequila. This was a very entertaining match. I'm very glad that I got to see him.
We
He
got
has a
to
great.
see all the
He puts on a
teeth
great
flow
show.
out. Britt Baker would have a big payday if she were there.
Oh yeah, and he was a great, great asset to the show. I would like to see him, really do some work in AEW. I think he would be good out there.
He already is in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, but that's not AEW.
He talks just like Elmo does in the third person.
He does, but he also has kind of like the Count's accent. But you know what was
Absolutely.
really wild? All those teeth.
That's what I was saying. If Britt Baker was there, she would have a field day.
Oh well, yeah, I know, and it was really weird though. I mean, like I said, I wasn't used to him wrestling. I never seen him wrestle alive, so
Cause
I
that
and I could barely hear what they was chanting over the kid next to me screaming. So,
you can tell it grossed out Ava Everett, and it was a big difference when he was
oh, it
like
took me a minute to see what
T.
it was until they knocked it down onto the ground and they went everywhere, and then
And
I
he has
saw.
his own choke slam from hell, similar to Kane, Big Show, and
Oh
Undertaker.
yeah, and I mean that's when I saw what it was though. I saw the teeth, and I was like, oh my god, this is insane. What does a man need that many teeth in a jar for? You don't even have that many teeth in your mouth. Never mind,
Dun, 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 dun.
you don't
That's
need that many
Danhausen
teeth.
for
But
you.
it was Dan Hausen taking out the Wicked Witch of Limitless. He beat her, and I saw Love Dog with a little bit of smile in his face. He
Come on, Versace. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Luke Duke.
well,
He was
he was there
petitioning for
watching this.
Vacation Land Cup. I
He
got to
was
sign my first ever disabled signature.
he was there all night. doing that, and he got a lot of signatures, and I think he was watching that show. As soon as Ava lost, though, she snapped and took it out on him. She saw his face,
Horrible.
and
He
she
worked
went
so
right
hard for
over
them.
to him, and she pretended to be all nice. Hey, you want me to sign? You want me to sign your petition? She took the petition and she just broke it over, and he ripped the papers, destroyed all his hard work for the night. Love Doug went out, had to leave. He looked so crushed. It was so
And
sad for Love Doug.
we that's what we're here at the VSW. We give this guy so much attention, Versace.
Who, Love Doug?
Yeah.
Because he deserves it. He's one of the best wrestlers in the
And he loves
industry.
everybody.
Well, we love him here at the VSW, and I'm going to tell you, we support you. We hope you are in Vacation Land Cup
If you want free advertising for
2021.
Vacation Land Cup Love Doug, you know where to find us.
You do, and if you need our signatures, anytime, any time. Um, so like I said, now you want to talk about another match. We talked a little bit earlier about the unit. We talked a little bit about how they dominate chaotic, and another main dominator of that faction is
AC Baby.
Ace Romero, and this kid
This is one
is
of the best
amazing.
matches of the night against a returning New England legend, Impact superstar Eddie Edwards.
Both of these guys have wrestled in Impact. Both of these guys are there. You can see them on TV, but we got to see them live at Limitless Wrestling, and they gave probably one of the best matches, if not the match of the night. These two, you could feel the heart, the passion as these two
They were
fought.
fighting for the ring most of the time in the beginning of the match. They were fighting near me. I thought I was going to get destroyed, Versace, in my section.
Oh yeah, I mean, so you were on the other side. We didn't get to sit together at this show. We got there a little late inside the arena. We were in the back of the line, even though we had front row. We had to go and sit separate. So you were on the other side where they were battling it out. I was on the side where they entered. But
Absolutely.
this was a war between these two. You could tell it was a war of it didn't even need a story. It told the story. The match was the story. You could just feel it.
And the
It's
crowd
very hard to
really loves
explain.
AC Romero in Maine.
You could tell it was a match of respect, though. These guys respected each other, but they wanted to beat each other.
Absolutely. It was really hard. There was a lot of chest slaps in this match in the beginning.
Those were hard. I could see it. I could see the damage being done. I don't think I would like to take a chop from either one of those two guys.
And there were a lot of jumping over the middle ring into the stands in this match too, Versace.
Oh yeah. This battle took place all over. They were fighting in chairs. They were fighting all over the place. Right next to you, I believe, at one point, right?
Yeah, definitely. A couple fans had to get out of their seats next to me just to let them do their work, and there were a lot of spitting going on between these wrestlers too.
Oh yeah. I mean, when they're hard hitting, and when you get hit that hard, you're bound. Something's bound to come out of you. Luckily, it was just that and not teeth or anything else. But like I said, they're hard hitting folks. This match, though, really, 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 really just, I don't know. I think it stole the show, in my opinion.
Absolutely, it was one of the best matches of the night. The
I
crowd
can,
was so fired up for this match.
I can
Perfect
see,
match
I can
going.
see why it kind of like closed the first half, and why it was kind of like that, like almost like the half main event, if you want to call it that, because it just was that match to be. It had all the excitement. You didn't know who was going to win. You had them fighting back and forth with such great passion. At the end, it was. the hometown favorite from Saco, Maine, Ace Romero with the win. But there was, a show and a sign of respect afterwards by Eddie Edwards towards Ace and towards the whole limitless crowd and everybody. And I think we're gonna see him again. I think he made his point. I think he made his mark. He's definitely impressed us here at the VSW. We'd love to see him again. And I think he even gained the respect of Ace Romero because they were hugging it out in the end.
Absolutely. It was a very emotional night in Limitless.
It was. It really, really was. There was a lot of motion, through the whole night. Um, you saw what we heard from Rich Palladino how he will not be able to announce at the Vacation Land Cup.
And I hate to tell you this, folks, we at the VSW will not be there either.
No, we will not be attending that. We ourselves will be at Polly Am Cult Woodstock by MB Young. But there was an exchange there with what is his name now? Ethan Scott, right?
Yep. He's going to
He Ethan Scott did all
carry
the
throughout the pandemic on the road, did a great job.
he
He's
he
a
really did. He was like the voice of the road. I just remember hearing him all the time. And I learned to like him on the road. Hold on one second. And like I said, Rich Palladino, one of the best in the game, kind of handing the torch to Ethan and letting him, telling him he's gonna be ring announcer for the Vacation Land 2021 Cup. This is, you could see it. The kid had tears.
absolutely. It's an opportunity of an honor for him, as it's pretty big shoes to take Rich Palladino. He's like the voice of all indie wrestling in the Northeast.
He really is. He really, really is. But I'm gonna go catch and get a drink of water. Why don't you talk to the people a little bit, Wolf? Tell them what's gonna be happening with us. Tell them what we're gonna be doing on this, this weekend. Tell them a little bit about what's going on over at the camp and stuff. And I will be right back.
Okay, Versace. Hey, folks. So this weekend at the VSW, since I joined the VSW Disable, will be venturing out of New England into this New Jersey area. We got three big ass shows this weekend. One, we got the XWX New Jersey promotion with a nightclub. We're gonna see what we thought would have been Anthony Green versus Martha Slamovich. That's gonna be a hell of a match. We also got AEW's own former Team Taz standout FTW champion Brian Cage in action against Ricky Starks. Not Ricky Starks, Rich Swann. And you got Kevin Blackwood in action in that night. It's going to be a nightclub type of wrestling. It's like, and we're looking forward. It's a different type of style. And we're part of this Camp Leapfrog. As you know, the reason why we're going to Camp Leapfrog for a doubleheader with IWTV 100, folks, because we got the main event of Sydney Bacabella. He will be there in the main event against Abby Jane for her birthday. Abs will not be able to make it. We just interviewed him and Sydney. We send our condolences to Abs, but Camp Leapfrog is a great summer camp pay per view. It's basically taking a place of Shakira, kind of like what people think of WCW and AEW connection. This is Leapfrog and Shakira. It's like summer camp of wrestling. We got a bunch of different styles this weekend, and we're very excited to expand in the VSW. And are you ready, Versace? Oh, he's just keeping up with the Versace stoner. It makes a lot of sense. And you got two best friends, indie wrestling legends, including Limitless Lane, Maine. You got the Alien Galaxy's greatest alien, Chris Statlander, with OC teaming up against Tiger Style, Lee Moriarty, and Trish Adora. What's going to be a hell of a match, and we cannot wait. It's like the Super Bowl. We got Willa Yuta for the 100th IWTV title defense. What's against Red Death Daniel Garcia? It's going to be a 5-star match in the making. I am pulling for Daniel Garcia so we can have a double undisputed champion and limitless going into the anniversary show. That is if he walks out past it when we get to the end of our undeniable recap. But folks, when the Versace's taking a break, just want to let you know, lots of Boston sports coming. I know you people in Maine. I say this a lot, I'll admit. My head wasn't straight, and I'm getting it back. We got Patriots training camp and preseason about to roll. We got the Red Sox chasing first place. We got David Krejci leaving the Bruins as they're hitting up free agency, and you got the Celtics making big trades. I will be doing a lot of Wolfcast episodes this week. And in order to prepare for our Chicago road trip at the VSW, I am going to catch up doing some AEW recaps for you ever since they started touring. I will get the Fight for the Fallen and 2 Night Fighter Fest recaps. I know it's very late, but we got to get something because we got to be all elite ready for Chicago as we got a lot of big stuff in August for the VSW. So stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned.
And I am back, everybody. It's your boy, the Versace Stoner. You'd be surprised how like a little bit of like water will just do wonders. But yep, all a lot of great excitement coming this way for us and for the VSW. A lot of big things coming, and especially big things coming when we came back from that break at Limitless. It was one of my favorite matches of the night. It is why I've chosen that for the background of this podcast. And you can see it right there. Well, yeah, I'll point over there for Rip Bison versus Beef the Freak
He's a changed man, beefed
in a
up.
strap match. And these two is like the kind of wrestling that I grew up with. Hard hitting, not pretty boy wrestling. These are wrestlers, not models. It's not cinematic. It's not like, Sydney would have said drama school. This is wrestling, and these people wrestle, and they hit hard, very hard. A strap match is brutal. These guys beat the piss out of each other with that strap. I mean, they really just you could I was right there. I saw it wailed against their backs. Marks, red marks, left and right. They
They
put they put Ripper's head in a chair and slammed it into the post. This is a very physical match. What did you think about it, Wolf?
It is one of my favorite matches of the night. Yeah, the Eddie Edwards and AC Romero match was great. This was different. This was brutal. This was violent. They abused the steel chair, used to save each other. There was almost chair shots to the head. It was just physical, angry people. It's like a bunch of guys in prison got together, self fight, rival.
I'm going to tell you something, Wolf. I'm a big fan of ultra violent wrestling. I love it. I love GCW death matches. I love all that. Right? Now, do I believe this should be in every promotion? No. Because it's not for everybody. And not everybody likes that style of wrestling. But there's a middle ground. And that's what we saw here in this match. It's a very hardcore style of wrestling. but it's still wrestling. Okay, it's not. It wasn't a brawl. There was moves done, but it was a war. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Um, it wasn't it wasn't a bloody GCW. There was no light lube being used, and there was no any of that stuff. But there was plenty of and that's why I say '80s wrestling because there was plenty of that, like the strap matches. It was from that era, kind of '70s, '80s. And they had these like violent matches with violent people. Beef the Freak is a violent person. Rip Bison is a violent person. These aren't, people that you want to go and just, you know, go have a casual conversation. Beef the Freak goes in alleyways and preaches about meat.
And
Um, and Rip, I wouldn't even want to run into him in an alleyway. He'd tear you apart limb from freaking limb.
he can't even hear you. I said hi to Beef. He flipped me off, Versace.
Yeah, you think he cares about us or you or any of it? No. He might be a changed man. Though I can't imagine what he was like before. But he is one of my favorite limitless wrestlers. He is one of my favorite tough guys. I'll call him, just like not pretty boy, just beat 'em up style wrestlers. Both of these guys are. There's something that's just about them that screams to me old wrestling, which is when I grew up in it, and it's wrestling. It's wrestling. Rip's a great guy. Beef's a great guy, and this was just a very violent, great match.
And they were fighting outside of the ring, too. It was an awesome match. But old Ripper got the victory, and the crowd loved it. He
He
could be
did.
future Limitless World title shot. The crowd is all over him.
It is, and you know what? He was very over. But you know what? I think at the end of that, people were chanting Beef too. And I think Beef got the necessary respect that he deserves now in Limitless. I think the people see what kind of wrestler, what kind of fighter, what kind of heart he has for this. And I think they're going to start supporting the Beef.
Absolutely. He's a changed man, Versace. He'll even tell you.
Give it some time. He's going to be in contendership for that world title.
Both of these guys will.
And speaking of that, Rip has had some big news coming up about him in his personal ways. He's got his own promotion coming out, right?
Yeah, pro wrestling grind. It's going to be kick
And they've already, I saw, signed a tag team, the main event,
Matt Mikowski.
and Matt Mikowski. Yeah. So you got Matt Mikowski in the main event so far, and the main event just picked up some titles at that show they were at.
Against the
Um,
seat. They're
you know,
always stars, but
Well,
Delmy
they
X
could have been limitless champions if MSP actually had won the match against Garcia and Blackwood. Randy Carver would have probably made good on his word, and there would have been limitless titles. And I'm sure that the main event would have picked those up by now. I mean, we saw how they battled with the C Stars. We've seen how they've done on AEW. We've seen them how they've done in all around. And like I said, they just picked up gold now in another show. So maybe who knows? Maybe Randy will rethink his whole tag team division idea. I don't know. I really wish MSP had pulled out that victory though. That kind of just irks me. Me being a tag team guy, you know how I feel.
absolutely, and they need more to showcase more. There was no tag team matches at all. The only bad thing about this pay per view, Versace.
Oh yeah, and you know it was. What is this now? You have questions?
Hard Versace.
No, somebody sent me questions. Uh, that's stupid. I'm not doing question and answers tonight. Why would I be doing question and answers for a recap show? Think about that now for a second.
This isn't a Q&A show we're doing.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if it was for an interview, I can see sending me a question because I'll ask the interviewee with a question. Like the other day when the kid asked me about Sydney being on the Young Rock. That was a fan question. This guy asked if you could work any match, if you could work with any limitless wrestler, who would you work with? I don't know who he's asking this question to say Wolf. I'm not wrestling at limitless. I don't believe you are right now, are you?
I don't think I would, but if I had to wrestle one person, it would be someone that Davey Ann really wants to wrestle, and it'd be John Alba.
Do you? You really would want to? You versus the Wolf versus John Alba?
Yeah, it'd be hilarious. Crowd would be on its feet for inexperienced wrestlers like the two of us. We're both in the sports. He loves the New York teams. I'm a Boston guy, and I'm a fan of Chris Van Vliet. He hates him. It all makes sense, Versace.
Maybe you need to, do some traveling up to the dojo, put in some work up there, and maybe you'll be fighting John Alba. And if Randy Carver's listening, maybe he can make it happen. Who knows? Anything can happen in the world of professional wrestling, and anything will. And that's what happened in the next match. This was a grudge match and a half. To say, well, we saw from the last time when Love Dog got defeated, the very, 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 very evil, truly evil,
Ugh.
um, Charles Mason, went into his man purse, grabbed the scrunchie he had from Becca, and just like sniffed it and walked away. And for weeks after that, he had been stalking her, calling her, harassing her, doing all sorts of crazy and sick shit to the leader of the Scrungy Squad, Becker. I was following it online. I was seeing all the reports and the calls. I even told her at one point, I said, Becca, maybe you just need to get a restraining order. Like, I don't know what you're gonna do because it's not
I'm
safe.
gonna need something
Mason's a
after this night.
sick, Mason's a sick fuck.
He really is. He's like a horror movie character and a vampire coming to life.
He's crazy. He's insane. He's sadistic. He came out. There was no children for him to terrorize. Thank God.
But
And
Christmas and Halloween's around the corner, so don't give him any good ideas, Versace. Uh-oh, I said good ideas.
oh no.
He was very disrespectful to the Limitless crowd, flipping everyone off, as he was determined to make Becca his prey.
Oh yeah, he was. And but there's one thing that you cannot underestimate, and that is scrungy power. And there was a lot of us in the fans. Okay,
I
I
was
put my
pretty
scrunch.
worried
No,
for
I put
Becca
my
as he
scrunchie
caused
on
her
for
to
that
bleed.
match. I pulled out my official Becker scrunchie. I put it on, and I wore it proudly for that match for scrunchie power. That's the key to Becca. You need to give her scrunchie power. There was a lot of us in the crowd doing so. I don't know what was going on your side of the ring, but on our side of the ring there was. Are you still with us?
I am. When I'm trying to keep up with the Versace stoner and spirit, it's a lot different for me to get used to, buddy.
Oh, okay. I'm just
And
making sure
Charles
you didn't.
Mason can give me nightmares, as you know.
Oh yeah, I know. I was just making sure because sometimes in person, I know you fall asleep when we'll be doing the podcast, and I have to nudge you. I can't nudge you through the TV here. I can't do that. So if you fall asleep and I hear you snoring, there's not much I can do to wake you up.
Unless you have a flute.
I might have to go digging for one. But this was a great matchup to Sable Wolf. These people really gave it their all in this because you know what? Becca bled like crazy. There was blood everywhere
He
when I
bled
by the
like
end of
Britt
that match.
Baker and Thunder Rosa did in their main event match on Dynamite.
It was a sight. I have pictures. I'm gonna be putting all the pictures up somewhere. I gotta figure out what to do with all my photos.
I gotta chew all the footage, Versace.
Well, I mean, we
And
got our own
but it
personal
was
footage.
scary when Charles Mason would drag her throughout the fans outside the ring.
He
Like a
dragged her
horror
like
movie
Freddy Krueger
kidnapping.
or like a horror movie would drag you. It was horrible. And then he had the scissors. He was pointing at people. He was gonna cut her hair. He was trying to stab people. It was just a sick, sick matchup. But in the end, it was Becca and the Scrungy Power with the freaking spinning splash. It's been like her new signature move now.
It's like the scrunchy splash.
Yeah, I don't know what is she calling it officially. I haven't got an official name because I hardly get to hear it with commentary. I'm watching it live. It's not like they're calling out the moves. You know what I mean? So, but she does the splash, and she picks up the win. And my God, it was a sight. She was bloody, but she was proud. And speaking of proud, well, proud people are usually very prestigious, and they showed up. John Alba, Mac Daniels, BRG, and Channing Thomas. And I must say myself, Channing didn't look the best. He needed like a shave or something. I don't know, maybe a shot. It looked like he was partying hardy the night before. I don't know what up with Channing. But these guys showed up again, and they basically grabbed Becca.
That John Elbow is so sick because
I think, to be honest with you, John Alba watched the Mason match, got some ideas from Mason, or maybe was even possessed by Mason, because he was a little sadistic for a minute. And, he had the natural one with the chair holding it, and he told, Davey when she came out that he would wrestle her, yes, but on his terms, his way. First of all, he lied to the people. He lied to Randy Carver. He lied to Davey Ann. He said he was an untrained professional wrestler. Now, that is not what he told us on our interview with him. He told us he was a very well trained professional wrestler, actually, and that he's been wrestling a lot. He wrestled in, well, the dojo and in other places. So I think he was just weaseling his way out by saying that, first of all. Second of all, he said that it will not be a one-on-one match. It will be like a four-on-four match.
that's going to
And
be happening till September for the Limitless anniversary show, which we don't have a date. Actually, we do, but I'm not going to reveal it because I don't want to get Randy Carver upset like John Alba is with us, and we never do anything wrong to John Alba.
no, exactly, exactly. We really don't. We just all we do is just shout the guy out. I say good things about the prestigious and all that. I don't know what his issue is, but let me tell you. So you had these guys coming out there, okay, and it's gonna be Davy, Team Davy. She has three people to pick. If she agreed to these things, they would let Becca go. They would not smash her head in with the chair.
They lied. You knew they were lying.
Well, I didn't know anything. There's one thing that I know about John Albert, that he is a man of his word. I mean, we know that from when we had our interview. He said what he said was going to happen if he wasn't on the show, and he made good on his word. So I figured he would let her go, and he kind of did. He didn't crack her skull. He called for her neck to be broken, and that's exactly what BRG did. um,
DRG just laughed his ass off for past few days.
exactly. And, Mac Daniels, too, they're already back in Florida, and,
Having
they brutally attacked her, and I think it's going to be, Davey with Becca, two other people against this team prestigious,
it's gonna be
and
this.
hopefully they pick some, like, I was actually talking to a fan today on Facebook, and you know what I said? I said that would be really cool. What happens if they actually, were to recruit Charles Mason to their team? You know, Becca maybe earned, Mason's respect, or maybe he's a little stalkerish. Use that to her advantage. Take him to Team Davy. You need an animal, savage, crazy killer like that. Now,
Impress Becca, so
well, exactly. And now, hear me out. If you get Mason in there, how do you think little? John Alba is gonna do against, Charles Mason. Charles Mason will lead Alba for dinner.
You know what? You could, if the prestigious would be done for, if they recruit a changed man himself, earning the respect. The almighty beef, the freak.
Oh, they could take beef. They could take any. They need to take some really dangerous people and just really put the pain on prestigious. It's about time.
The prestigious. I know everyone in Maine hates them. Those guys just make me laugh. I look like I'm watching a comedy show when I see all those guys.
It's true. It is a comedy show. The Hales you love to hate.
Laugh.
Where Mason isn't. Mason just gives you chills. He does some weird, crazy shit. Now we've seen him recently also on GCW, and that's awesome. I think he'll fit in great there. He is that kind of guy. I'm actually though kind of a fan of him in the sense that I think that he is that enemy or that evil that Limitless needs. He's not your typical heel. He's not that annoying heel. He's that like real life heel.
Absolutely.
And
And
there's no other buddy like that. I mean, you can say MJF is no. MJF isn't like that. MJF will insult you. This guy will sniff you and then kill you. There's a difference.
but if MJF saw that, he would just laugh the whole time.
Yeah, but even Mason might. Who knows if who knows what would happen if MJF was still Limitless champion. Mason might have stabbed him, or sniffed him and stabbed him. Who knows?
Absolutely. And I
Mason is a tough, sick individual, but I am glad that Becca did overcome in this match. And like we said, I'm very excited to see what this team is going to be. The Survivor Series like style matchup is going to be. I hope it is elimination. Brandy, if you're listening, make this an elimination matchup. I think it'll be better because then in the end it can be John Alba all alone against all four of Team Davey.
you're taking
Will be great.
shades from the W event, huh?
Huh?
Because like Kevin Castro is evil, unlike John Alba's just an
Well,
ass.
see, that's a different kind of evil, but yes, I want to see this happen. This needs to happen. But yes, this will be something big, and that will be at the anniversary show. You gotta follow Limitless. You gotta listen into them. You gotta listen to what they have to say, and you will find out exactly when all the greatness takes place. Don't forget to also check out their show this Friday night in Herman, Maine. It's a little bit out there, but it's got a killer card. We can talk a little bit about that after this. But yeah, they are gonna be back real soon. So you have the main event now. You have Garcia, Red Death. I have to say, over the course of the pandemic, since he beat, since Anthony Green had to drop the title, he went on, as August Gray, as you know, and Christian Casanova won Vacation Land Cup. And the winner of that Vacation Land Cup was champion. Do you remember this now, Wolf?
Absolutely,
Well,
Versace.
now let's fast forward to Double Vision. Christian Casanova is on his way out, just like all the other champions have been on their way out. He was going to bigger and better fields over in WWE as Carmelo Hayes. But you know what? Garcia was not letting that title be walked away with. He was not letting anybody leave with that title. He wanted that title. He wants to be the Limitless champion. He wants to be the People's champion. He is the People's champion. And, he beat Christian Casanova that night and became the Limitless World Champion. Since then, he hasn't left. He hasn't abandoned anybody. He's only defended the title. And very well at that against two men at the last pay per view, Ace Romero and the Prize City OG Alec Price, beating them both. Yes, he might have some help from Blackwood, but at the end of the day, his skill is unmatched. That's why I really do believe he's going to win the IWDV champion from Wheeler Yuta. He will have four belts around his waist by the end of that night. It will happen. It just will. He is the future of this sport. But there was a big surprise, and a very big surprise
And
at that. I mean, let me just tell you. I think it was a surprise that I wasn't too sure about. Um, do you remember though, Wolf,
I
who
got.
your pick was that was gonna face Garcia?
What about Garcia Versace?
Do you remember who you picked? When we did the preview show of who do you think was gonna face Garcia? I know I said possibly JT Dunn. Do you know who you thought?
I think I picked Stratlander.
I think you did. I really do. And it wasn't. It wasn't Statlander either. It really just, it was something better.
Oh,
That is right. The
you are
return of the
a
undeniable alternative Anthony Green.
and
He's back, folks. He is back, and he is better than ever. And
I,
the crowd went absolutely wild. The pop of that was better than the pops I heard at WrestleMania this year. It was bigger. It was insane. The whole place lit up. Everybody stood up.
there were a lot
Everybody was cheering.
either.
How did it make you feel, Disabled Wolf?
I was really happy because I feel like the VSW would have had a great partnership with Anthony Green had the pandemic not crashed because we were just starting to get to know the guy too. And then he goes to WWE as August Gray, as it is his favorite month already. But
Oh,
like
for sure. I mean, he has been one of my favorite wrestlers since, like I said, I saw him at NCW many years ago. All good Anthony Green, retrosexual Anthony Green. I followed this guy. I liked his stuff. I bought a very lot of his shirts. When the pandemic hit, I tried to do the best support I could. I bought some stuff in private auctions, and he has some other stuff for sale that I picked up, ring worn items and so forth. And I just tried to help. And I was so happy for him when I heard the news that he got signed to the WWE. And I watched 205 Live for the first time because of August Gray. I normally don't watch 205 Live, I just could never get into it. But when I knew there was going to be a familiar face on there like August Gray, I just had to. And he made that show great. He really did. Um, and if he ever listens to this, we really appreciate what you do for us in New England because you're a tremendous talent. And, we could see it in your eyes that day when you walked into that stage and the crowd popped, that you were home and you could tell you were home. And, it's
he
special to
could
the
wrestle the
fans.
way he wants to wrestle.
Exactly. And, he's no longer retro. Retro is dead. He is the alternative. You gotta love those jeans. You gotta love the jacket. It's the
Yeah, I
same.
love that bandana.
It
Not
is.
bandana, that headband, I mean.
You got the same skill, if not even better now. His move sets are even better. And him versus Garcia for the Limitless World title, which was Anthony Green's when he had to vacate it on the road. Well, he didn't have to, but he decided to just leave it. And, he wanted back what's his. And these two gave us a show.
And Kevin Blackwood got ejected from the ringside.
which made it even more of a match because with Kevin Blackwood not in the ring, now it's a fair fight. And that's exactly what it was, a fair fight. These guys, though, put on a show like no other. Like I said, this is another dream match. When I talk about, I said that, I've been talking a while about Uter and Garcia. This is another dream match. I just couldn't fathom it at the point because, to be honest with you, I didn't think August Gray would be ever coming back to New England.
I didn't
It's
think so
Anthony
either.
Green. You know what I'm saying? I never thought it would happen. The kid's gold. Everything he does is great. I don't understand WWE's business end. I really don't appreciate it. I don't like it. I guess I don't know. I think they do a lot of things ass backwards, and that's fine. I don't. You don't have to agree with me on that, but I never thought we'd see the kid back, and now he's back again, and it's just kind of we're lucky because he's even better than he was prior. And he's only gonna get better.
Absolutely.
We will
As
be
he's
see,
going to
we're gonna be
wrestle in
see,
a lot of different promotions now, like he was a workhorse before the pandemic. I think outside of Limitless, he's going to try to go outside New England as much as possible.
Well, yeah, I mean, prior to this, he worked, chaotic, limitless, beyond,
Top rope
top rope. You'd see him all over New England. And now you're seeing him. Well, we'll see him at what, VKS?
against Masha Slamovich, which will be
Exactly,
the first ever VSW match aired live.
exactly. And then we're also gonna be seeing him against Rob Killjoy in another New Jersey promotion.
We'll see. I know we're going to be all over this man.
So I mean, we yeah, because he got main event and he could pick his opponent at that show. So and he picked Rob. That's gonna be another great event. I saw Rob at the lab and he was just tremendous. So I mean, there's gonna be a lot of good, cool opportunities to see Anthony Green wrestling again. But this match that night was, like I said, 5-star matchup for the Limitless World Title. Although, even though he wasn't there, he came out. You saw Daniel Garcia faking the leg injury, and he
And
threw the
Anthony
ref.
Green had him beat.
Well, I didn't know what was going on, to be honest. I was right there when he landed and he took the bump outside. Okay, I saw his ankle twist up, and I saw him talking to the ref. I didn't know if
Ryan
and I saw
Greenleaf's
him pointing
ankle
to
was
the
hurting
back. I
too.
don't know who he was calling, if he was calling for EMTs, if he was calling for Blackwood, if he was calling for whoever. I don't know. But then, all of a sudden, he threw the ref into the way of Anthony Green, knocking the ref out. The ref's out, and now it's open season for, anything to happen. And anything did, and then you had, Blackwood interfering again, and they finally called the match. I mean, a lot of
Absolutely.
everyone's saying it's bullshit. They think that Anthony Green won that title and should be walking out of there as Limitless champion.
Hmm. Yeah.
I tell you though, at least it wasn't in Jersey. If it was in Jersey under a JCW show, you might have had the fans throwing live sodas and full
Like
sodas and
Mad Matt
stuff at them.
Cardona.
They would have been mad like it Matt. But Anthony Green gave one hell of a fight, but it was Daniel Garcia retaining the title.
Hmm.
I can't say he won the match. He got disqualified.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think Retro had, or the alternative had Red Death beat.
He
He
did. They
kicked
were
out of
counting
his
along. They were counting
signature
along.
Red
There was
Death
no ref.
submission move.
There was no ref. And as soon as the ref got in there, Blackwood assaulted him, and the ref had to call the match, and that was it. And when that happens, the champion retains. You don't switch titles on a DQ.
And you had AC Baby coming in.
Oh yeah, I mean he came right out when he saw these two ganging up, and that's when they announced. Well, Ace announced earlier tonight he would be the first entrant into the 2021 Vacation Land Cup. Anthony Green announced he will be number two. What do you think of that, Disable Wolf?
Um, well, and Daniel Garcia bashed Anthony Green the whole match, saying that he never left, unlike Green,
And it's
trying
true,
to
he
get.
never did. He is our champion, okay? Daniel Garcia never went anywhere. He could have. You don't think he has WWE contracts? WWE opened up trademarks for the guy. He could have been gone months ago if he wanted to. Same thing with AEW. You've seen him on AEW television. You don't think Tony Khan reached back out to him? You don't think Tony Khan probably begged him to go back to? You don't think Tony Khan wants him at all out? You're kidding yourself if you don't.
But he wants CM Punk more, Versace.
It doesn't matter even how bad he wants Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia is not leaving us. He's not leaving the people. He is the true people's champ. He's like The Rock when The Rock was the people's champ, okay? This kid's all over the place. He's going to beat Wheeler Yuta for the IWTV title. He's going
He
to
could
own
be
four
the
belts.
undisputed independent wrestling
Then
champion.
he will be because, I mean, already the Limitless title has so much meaning, clout, and prestige behind it. Now throw the IWTV champion on his shoulder next to it. My God, he will be the best professional independent wrestler in the game in this decade if this is to happen.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for it. And you know what? They just announced tonight they have another show in Herman, Maine. You already know about it. They didn't announce Daniel Garcia's match, but they did announce that because, well, unfortunately, again, Alec Price is still injured. Taking his place against Mad Dog Matt Cross
That's going to
will
be an amazing.
be Anthony Green. And this is a first time matchup between these two legends. This is another dream match. Matt Cross, I first saw him at Suburban Fight down in Las Vegas, Nevada, when he was fighting Chris Bay in a bar. And this thing was a wild matchup. And I was like, wow. I actually talked to him during the pandemic. I actually bought some merch. I bought one of those signed masks because he was on Lucha Underground. And I bought a signed mask for him and some stuff. And he's a really nice guy. He talks to me. Sometimes he sends me some emails. Matt Cross is a great wrestler, and this is going to be a great matchup. Him versus Anthony Green. Dream match. Absolute dream match. Already Anthony Green's back, and he's already fighting dream matches.
Oh, I know it, people. He's going to be the hottest guy booked across the country, Versace.
Oh, probably. I'm sure. I don't think he's going to be wanting to stay in New England for too long. I think he's going to move himself all the way up from coast to coast. And why wouldn't you? I mean, he could really get himself out there. He's already worked for the big dog. Now he could work for every little dog if he wanted to.
Absolutely. He probably earned himself a great payday, too.
I hope so. He deserved it. I mean, he's a hard wrestler. He really put the love into it. I don't know if you saw his movie. They did a movie with Henry Aaron and all those people, and about how he became basically from fan to champ. And, like, yeah, it's a real touching, moving story, and you gotta love it. You gotta love when somebody has that much passion and love for this sport. And that's what I love
Absolutely.
about Limitless. They have the passion and love for this sport. They take it serious. It's not a joke. They don't make a joke of it. They don't make a game of it. Everything means something. It's meaningful.
Because there are a lot of promotions in New England, I hate to say it, that treat their promotion like a joke or they take it way too serious. Randy's got the perfect package promotion. I
He
hate to
really
say it.
does. He does a great job, and I love it. I love what Randy
Treats his
Carver
staff
does
and
with
his wrestlers
wrestling.
so well. The fans respect him. Like, I really love this promotion.
Yeah, I mean, I know, and I really respect Randy Carver and all he does for independent wrestling because he has been putting on great shows for 5 years now. I don't know if you grabbed the book. I didn't obviously. I had two copies, black and white and color. But that first 5 years with the Michael Lab wrote about is insane. And you really should check that out if you're a fan of Limitless, fan of Randy Carver, fan of like good wrestling in history.
It's like an encyclopedia for Limitless.
It is, and I gotta bring it to my next show. I gotta definitely bring it to that reunion show so I can get stuff signed. I need it signed. I need all the legends and all the wrestlers of Limitless to sign. I love the Limitless wrestlers. I'd rather do meet and greets with them over Access or whatever that shit they do at WWE any day of the week.
Absolutely, way cheaper. They appreciate it more too.
Even if it was the same price, I'd rather do it. These people have more heart and soul, and they know how to wrestle. And we hung around a little bit after the show. We got to talk to some of the stars: Daniel Garcia, Beef, Rip, Becca, JD Drake. I talked a little bit to Davey. Um, Even some of like the wrestlers that were helping out for the night, Armani Chaos. I talked to them all. I talked to Randy Carver.
Nolan.
Who else did I see out there? I saw Todd Graham doing like filming. That was cool. Over from Proving Ground. We had him on the show, remember?
Yes, I do. Oh, do I remember?
So I mean, you saw a lot of cool people. Fans were recognizing me. I had such fun, talking with some of them. We talk on Twitter all the time, and we talk on Facebook, but you don't. It's different when you see them in person. One of my favorite people is the sign guy. He is such a tremendous artist. He does great work with those signs.
Absolutely, he does a phenomenal job.
So like I've made a lot of friendships through Limitless. I've made a lot of I think partnerships. I don't know. It's just been a great overall experience, and I'm very excited to see what happens. Yes, we're not going to be unfortunately at the Vacation Land Cup. We are venturing out into the Woodstock, and we're going to see other like promotions like No Peace Underground and Industrial, and check out some other things in the scene. But we'll be right back to Main After. We'll be right back to Limitless, bud. We'll be at that reunion show, and we'll finish out the year strong with Limitless.
Absolutely, you can bet your ass I'll be in that anniversary show, Versace.
Oh, exactly. Even if we gotta have to do what we did for All Out with 3 computers, 2 tablets, 1 phone, and somebody on the TV app, because we will get front row. We will get it, and we'll go there very early. So we get to actually pick where we sit. Maybe we could sit together this time. It'll be great.
Abs-
We could buy some T-shirts. We can buy some merch. We could buy a snack. Maybe they'll have food. I hope they have like catering, some like hot dogs or something, sausages, and we can have a good time.
Absolutely, Versace. But I think I'm ready to sign out.
Are you tapping out for the night? Well, I understand that. I understand that, disabled. That's okay though. I had a great time tonight talking to you, and this has been a great time going over Undeniable by Limitless Maine. I heard today on this Friday it will be airing on IWTV. So make sure to watch it. Make sure to check it out. Make sure to relive all the action. And you know what? Come back here, listen to this again, or message us, talk to us about it. Let's talk Undeniable. Let's talk Limitless Wrestling. Let's talk Indie Wrestling. Let's talk. Thank you everybody for listening in. Thank you everybody for watching. It has been a great time. Thank you to Sable for coming on with me from
Absolutely,
remote.
Versace. Disabled out.
Have a good night. Thank you everybody for watching the VSW. It's been a great episode, and you will be able to check it out on Spreaker and all that. Probably later this week, I'm going to do something a little different. I went live on YouTube, and we'll put it to that after. But thank you everybody for listening and keep supporting independent wrestling. They need the help more than ever. Keep watching it. Keep signing up to IWTV. Keep, buying merch from your local wrestlers and favorite stars. Keep buying. Keep doing what you can do. I mean, I'm not saying if you can't, you have to. I'm not shaming anybody, but if you have it and you want to, do it. It's worth it. It's a great feeling. If you can sponsor promotions, do it. If you can sponsor matches, do it. They appreciate it. Companies appreciate it all. And any little thing you can do to help your independent scene, I recommend doing it. That's all I have for you folks. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a great night, Versace.